4 farmers killed, 5 injured in another plateau attack. Bandits attack Malamfashi, killed traditional leader in Katsina. Court fixes November 1 to rule on final forfeiture of ex-CBN governor. On the foreign scene, 1.9 million affected by child flows as all 23 provinces submerged. Hello and welcome to Trust TV's news update. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Thank you for joining us. In a tragic incident at a mining site near Kuba and Meikachako villages in the Buturav district of Bokos local government area, Plateau State, 4 farmers were killed and 5 others injured on Thursday night around 9 p.m. Sebastian Majid, president of the Batura Youth Movement, reported the incident in Jos on Saturday. The victims have been identified as Gwefuk Musa, Klingshank Dixon, Promise Joshua and Nyam Abak. Majid noted that the attackers fled the scene before security personnel arrived. Majid highlighted the ongoing violence which has affected several areas including Barkinladi, Riyam Basa, Jos North and South, as well as Wase and Mogul local government areas where innocent residents have been brutally murdered in their sleep. In Katsina State, 4 youths have been killed still in Plateau State, 4 youths have been killed in the state following an attack by gunmen in Bokos local government areas of the state on Friday night. It was learned that the victims were working at a mining site in the Batura community when the gunmen attacked them around 9 p.m. killing 4 persons on the spot. The president of the Batura Youth Movement, Sebastian Majid, confirmed the killings in a statement on Saturday. Majid said the gunmen also injured 5 other persons during the attack before they fled the area. The youth leader gave the names of those killed as Befuk Musa, the spokesman for the Plateau State Command, Alabo Alfred, and the spokesman for the military task force in charge of maintaining peace in the state, Major Samson Zalkum, as well as the State Commissioner for Information. Musa Ashams were not readily available to comment on the incident as several calls put across to their phone lines rang out. Bandits launched a deadly attack on Dai town in Malamfashi local government area, Katsina State, killing Tanimu Al-Makayai, the traditional leader of Danjamku, in his home. His family was also abducted during the raid. The police in Katsina State have yet to release an official statement regarding the recent incident. As the community mourns, the call for peace and an end to the ongoing crisis in Nigeria grows louder. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has declared oil mogul Bolaji Akinduro wanted for alleged fraud. A statement by the EFCC urged the public to provide information on Akinduro's whereabouts. His last known address is 272 Patience Koke Street at Jose Adogo, Victoria Island, Lagos State. Akinduro is executive chairman of Total Grace Oil and Gas Investment Limited. He is accused of obtaining money under false pretense and committing stealing by conversion. With fuel prices hitting a record 1,070 naira per litre in Kano State, many residents are turning away from petrol-powered motorbikes. The shift towards electric bikes is gaining momentum as a practical alternative. Abdulaziz Ibrahim explores this growing trend.
As Nigerians grapple with the aftermath of fuel subsidy removal, many Kano residents are opting for electric-powered motorbikes. Seen as a practical solution for daily commuting, electric bikes are quickly becoming a preferred alternative.
In
the past, for my daily movement, sometimes I even used to spend up to 3,000 naira. But with this bike, I can save that money. Once it's fully charged, I use it to go to the market and about town every day. Especially during this time that everything is expensive. this electric bike is more economical because the issue of buying fuel and also buying engine oil is now out of it. Despite the challenge of unreliable power supply in some parts of the state, both users and sellers of electric motorbikes say there's a solution, unlike the petrol-powered bikes, which rely solely on costly fuel. Yes, it's possible that power supply can be a challenge when using this bike, but we know that there's also the possibility of using the solar power apart from the normal electricity to charge the bike, and I think that makes the electric bike worth it. Yes, the bike can be charged with solar power, and that is the advantage, although it's with the kind of solar power that works with AC, not DC. Then there is also the need for a power surge protector. So with all these, I believe there are advantages in using the electric powered bike. The shift to electric bikes isn't just about saving costs, it's also about cutting carbon emissions. With zero harmful gases, electric bikes are key to improving air quality in urban areas like Kano. Despite the rising popularity, major motorcycle dealers say the demand for petrol-powered models remains strong. You know, people are just getting to understand the use of this electric-powered bike. So while we're seeing more interest in this bike, we know that many customers still prefer the old petrol bikes due to the established spare parts and also the reliability. As residents embrace electric-powered motorbikes, the future of commuting in Kano State is leaning towards more sustainable, eco-friendly options. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News.
The Ogoja-Bekwara-Katsinala Federal Highway has become a nightmare for travelers, with lives lost, vehicles damaged, and businesses suffering due to its deplorable condition. Commuters plying the route in a heartfelt plea to the federal and state government called for the reconstruction of the highway. Here's more.
Commuters emphasize that the highway's condition is not only a safety concern but also affects the livelihoods of law-abiding citizens contributing to Nigeria's GDP through agriculture and other activities. Large portions of the road are riddled with potholes, causing vehicles to take alternative routes that are not designed for heavy traffic. The Jibo, Ugboro, Abouchiche stretch is particularly hazardous, with a massive muddy gully splitting the road. Others who spoke urged the federal government to fix the long-neglected road, ensuring safe passage for travelers and facilitating economic activities.
We left Edo State on Monday afternoon, hoping to get to Yola. Only for us to get here on Tuesday night. We were stuck here and we'll be stuck here since then. No water for bathing. In fact, bathing is not a luxury. The only thing we feed on is snacks. And we don't even know whether we'll be living here tonight. You are seeing the situation of the road. My truck is way down the line. The number of days we spent here will be enough for me to get to Yola, offload and come back to my base in Edo State. So we are calling on whoever is out there, the government, many Nigerians, this road needs to be fixed.
You can see behind me there's a problem. See the side, people are just stopped here. You look left, you look right, people are stopped here, and these roads have been here for the past 4 months. We are calling on the respective authorities to come to the aid of the Kwara people, particularly the Okoro community.
These days, those are tired. No food, nothing. The hungry, they finish us. They don't drink, are tired. I beg, who should help us?
This one, they are 3 days.
3 days.
We are there 2 days. Okay. So, my mother still be back. I don't even hear.
You're not supposed to help us about this road now. The road don't start and they won't help us. It's crossing on all the road now.
You know the road. When they come, he lost.
They also appealed to the Cross River State government, lawmakers and stakeholders to prioritize the project's execution.
We are tired of all these things. But initially, this thing started small. Then we, the villagers, we came out. Look at the kind of building. We broke the building to this place. The building have done. we have broke the building, filled this place, but it didn't work. We started it small. The villagers donated money to bring a laptop and everything. The thing doesn't work. This is complete 4 good months that this thing is happening. We are crying for government, for government intervention, that it should come and help us. We community have tried our best and we are tired.
Sleeping on this road, no way to pass, everything, they bad. Understand, okay? We yourself, not even good. No more to take pass. We must almost live for here more than 3 days.
Beyond the human toll, the highway's deterioration has crippling economic implications. Businesses struggle to transport goods, while farmers can't access markets. Frustrated truck drivers have been forced to pay some financial commitments as a palliative measure to assist the community in maintaining the road.
Quite a sad one then. Now, over 50% of girls in Nigeria are missing out on basic education, according to the United Nations Children's Education Fund. In recognition of the International Day for the Girl Child, the NGO Broad Sustainable Women Economic Empowerment and Peace Initiative hosted a public lecture in Jiwa community of the Federal Capital Territory, highlighting the critical importance of educating girls. Ibrahim Ismail brings us more on the story.
Nigeria has over 20 million out-of-school children, with women comprising a significant portion of this alarming statistic. To combat this inequality in the education sector, the Broad Sustainable Women Economic Empowerment and Peace Initiative is actively engaging women and girls in Jiwa Community, Abuja Municipal Area Council. The lectures aim to uplift the lives of girls by improving access to educational opportunities and raising awareness about preventing gender-based violence.
This event is more than a celebration. It's a call for action. Action for access to equal opportunity for education for girls. Action for a free society, free from violence and discrimination. Action for parents and teachers to nurture and support the girl child, and for leaders to create policies and give opportunities for the girl child to realize her full potential.
Speakers at the event urged parents to prioritize the education of their children, irrespective of gender, for a brighter future.
So I am here to support the charity or NGO that Her Excellency Hajia Hadiza Abubakar is the chief executive of. And I know that once there is this empowerment of women and leadership roles for them, there will be greater world peace. And with that peace, there will be greater progress of the whole of mankind.
A cross-section of the participants recount their experience after the lectures.
I learned so many things about women empowerment. Women empowerment teaches us how to be educated, and then you work on your own to earn money, and then also help others.
I'm a kind of person that I want to become a lawyer in my future. And with this point I have in this place, I think that I have the encouragement of giving myself to become that person I want to become in my future.
In an exclusive interview with Trust TV, the Emir of Jiwa underscores the importance of girl-child education for national development.
We are in a top gear of mobilizing our community by sending their girl child to school. Early marriage, it is one of the setbacks that's bringing most of that has side effect with the training of the girl child. We are totally looking forward to see that our children, especially girl child, have been trained.
Back at the event center, participating women and girls receive sanitary pads for better hygiene to mitigate the current economic challenges. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Small stories. Wife of the President, Oluremi Tinubu, has reiterated her commitment to support girls and young women in Nigeria to attain higher education and fulfill their full potential. Speaking at Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, her alma mater, where she graduated 41 years ago, the First Lady said early marriage, teenage pregnancy and other social-cultural barriers should not hinder girls and young women in Nigeria from achieving their life goals. Hamidu Yegbade has more in this report.
At the inauguration of a 2.7-kilometer road donated to Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, by the Ooni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, named after the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu's remarks resonate with the theme of this year's Day of Girl Child, which is Girls' Vision for the Future. She said early marriage, teenage pregnancy, and other socio-cultural barriers hindering girls and young women in Nigeria from attaining higher education will be removed once the alternative schools take off across the country.
I've also adopted education as the focus of the #WeAreEqual campaign by the Organization of African First Ladies for Development, WAFLAD, in Nigeria. To launch this campaign, we reintroduced the alternative high school for girls across the nation to see young girls and women who dropped out of school due to early marriage, teenage pregnancy, and other socio-cultural barriers get an opportunity to complete secondary school, acquire higher education and valuable life skills.
The First Lady and other personalities at the event lauded the Ooni of Ife for his contributions to youth development.
Ojaja has really tried by supporting everyone in the community to grow. So I encourage every leaders, everybody to join hands together to contribute to the development and growth of the community.
The wife of the president used the occasion to assure Nigerian youths that the future is promising, urging them to keep hope alive and nurture their dreams. Amid Oyegbade, reporting for Trust TV.
A will is a legal document that describes how one would like their wealth to be distributed after they passed on. However, oftentimes cases arise after the demise of the will owner, whereby cultural and other factors tend to override such will of the deceased. In this report, residents in Kaduna expressed their views on the significance or otherwise of a will. Bala Musa completes the report.
There is time to be born and also a moment where one would bid farewell to this world. What happens next is how to share the property, asset, and other forms of wealth a deceased left behind. Oftentimes, sharing of the deceased wealth among the heirs becomes a problem due to many factors. Meanwhile, many believe that with the will written by the dead persons make distribution of the wealth easier.
It is good to write a will before your death so that the children you leave behind and other people that will be behind you, they can able to benefit from whatever you've left behind.
But for us in Africa, people see it as if you are writing a will, you are going to die tomorrow, or if you are writing a will, you are praying for yourself to die. No, a will is just a document that in case of anything that happens, one should be able to say that, okay, fine, I have 3 wives. My first wife will take this house, my second wife will take this business, my third wife will take this car. It's simple. Or my children, I have 5 children. This one will take this property. Maybe I might have a house in Abuja, in Kaduna, in the village, in Lagos. Then you just directly spread these properties to them without any form of franco.
I think it's a good thing, but we are actually guided by our religion as a Muslim. Allah has already shared the will or inheritance in the Quran. So if you have daughters or sons, you know the share they are supposed to get, and the parent also, we know the share that they are supposed to get. It's stated in the Quran. However, there are some exceptions where one can actually write a will, now giving some part of his wealth to a member of his family or non-member. It is not prohibited, but it shouldn't be that you take all your wealth and give it out, forgetting your heirs.
When a will is written, one can also nominate guardian for the children, dependents or pets. Myths and other cultural practices have sometimes override the will written by the deceased in the family.
Had instances of a wife whereby her husband would just die, peradventure there is no will, and then the properties of that person will come and be taken over by his brothers or his siblings, and then they will leave his children, biological children, and his wife with nothing. So if you have a legal document, they will just go to the court of law and say, okay, this is what our father left for us, and all of those properties will be repatriated. So it's always good.
This culture, at least to a certain extent, should be set aside. How can a father or a husband to a wife who have worked tirelessly, have left something for at least for his children, immediately after his demise, someone will come from nowhere simply because he's a relative of him or whatever, will now come and hijack everything and left the children at the mercy of God and the mercy of other people, which it does not speak well.
While one cannot rewrite someone's will after they have died, the law does not permit any other person to change the existing will. Bello Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
The federal government, through the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, has signed an agreement to begin sales of gas to the methanol manufacturing project of the $3.3 billion Brass Fertilizer and Petrochemical Company Limited. Speaking at the signing ceremony held at the headquarters of the ministry, the Minister of State for Petroleum Resources, Ekperipe Ekpo, said the gas sales and purchase agreement was signed with Shell, Total Energies and Ajip on Friday in Abuja, 9 years after the project was first announced. According to him, the signing represented a significant milestone in ongoing efforts to monetize Nigeria's vast gas reserves. He added that the agreement indicated a significant milestone in efforts to utilize the abundant natural gas resources for rapid industrialization and economic growth. Ekpo added that the project was also expected to bring in much-needed foreign direct investment and create thousands of jobs for our teeming population, while changing the face and fortunes of the host state and community for good. And NPCL and its partners were expected to deliver an estimated 217 million standard cubic feet of gas daily to the project located on Brass Island in southern Bayelsa State. Away from Nigeria, all of Chad's 23 provinces have been impacted by intense floods brought on by severe rainfall. Over 550 people have died and 210,000 homes have been washed away, and around 432,000 hectares of land and 72,000 livestock destroyed. This comes as the country declared a food security and nutrition emergency in February. Of the approximately 1.9 million people affected in the country, the United Nations Population Fund, UNFPA, says 85,000 are estimated to be pregnant women. Families are now sheltering in makeshift sites, and schools left without access to health services, clean drinking water, sanitation and hygiene, as diseases such as diarrhea, malaria, respiratory and skin infections could rise. Widespread flooding across the West and Central African region has triggered crisis for close to 2 million people with devastating consequences. Boeing has announced that it plans to cut 10% of its workforce as it projected a large third-quarter loss and a machinist strike in the Seattle region. Chief Executive of the airline, Kelly Ertberg, said on Friday that the aviation giant said it must reset its workforce levels to align with financial reality. He added that the cuts of 17,000 positions globally will include executives, managers, and employees. The company announced a series of belt-tightening measures and production delays as the nearly month-long strike of 33,000 workers has added to the company's litany of problems. And the sports scene, Nigeria will host Algeria for 2 international women's friendly marches on October 26 and 29, organized by the Nigerian Football Federation. These games will mark the start of the Super Falcons rebuilding under interim manager Justin Madugu, following the departure of former coach Randy Waldrum. Reports from Algeria indicate that the West African side will take on their North African counterparts with a squad primarily composed of home-based players. These marches are crucial preparation for the Super Falcons ahead of the 2024 Africa Women's Cup of Nations in Morocco, where they aim to secure their 10th title in 13 attempts. Algeria is also looking to make its mark, seeking a 6th appearance at the ALCON after qualifying alongside Nigeria among the 12 teams in late 2023. And with that, we've come to the end of News Update at this time. For more of our news programs and documentaries, do want to follow us on our social media platforms and our YouTube live stream. I am Chiamaka Mwafo. Thank you for joining us at this time.